Thank you for the raid, by the way, Daniel. Appreciate it. Time to do some repentance. Sorry. Gamer stars Gerard Butler, not Jason Statham. I have been exposed as a fraud. I was thinking of Death Race, which is a little bit like gaming, but slightly different. Okay, we are gonna do Jacob and Esau. You're gonna laugh. We're gonna try to do Jacob and Esau Boss Rush or Mega Satan. No, Boss Rush or Hush. I'm concerned about our ability to do it. We're gonna try nonetheless. It could happen. Now that we have 5 bombs, if we could just place a couple of those and... No! Okay, we lived, though, because then we'll just leave with you. Blow you up. Should have used some high caliber tactics there, but that's okay. The Boss Rush unlock is OP. You love to see it. I'm not guaranteeing that we will get it, but the last time I played as Jacob and Esau, I honestly was not as good at Repentance as I am now. We've come a long way, especially with like the Tainted Cain victory yesterday, the incredible Eraser play from Tainted Jacob. Like, I think I've entered into a new stratosphere. Like, I've at least got my International Master title. Grandmaster still a little ways away, but International Master, we got it under control. The Golden Teleporter. Golden Teleporter is like anti-boss rush technology. That being said, could still be good for us. If Isaac were ranked like chess, where do you think you'd fall? I don't know. I think I'm probably like amongst the top 500 Isaac players in the world. I definitely would not say like I'm at the top of the tippy top of the mountain, but definitely we're in there somewhere. Let me put it this way. I would only be a free victory for you at the tournament if you were like very, very good. Otherwise, like, for an average player, if you think you're pretty good at Isaac, I'm just gonna tell you, you're getting smoked. You're getting frickin' shellacked, man. We may end up... What did Malf say? Malf wouldn't even show up to the tournament. This guy, he takes his time with everything. Tournament starts at 9:30. He probably wouldn't even show up until 11:15. He said, you're not even the top in your house? Excuse me? Did he phrase it in that exact way? Because if so, nice. Oh. Yeah, you don't bonk him for that? Come on, man. I mean, there's like, there's GMs and then there's super GMs, right? You have to be amazing at chess to be a Grandmaster. But even if you're a Grandmaster, you know, you go up against a super GM, he's giving you the business. Most of the time. Okay, give me one of these. I wouldn't mind Alabaster Box, but we also have potential secret room strategies that could lead to error rooms. And any extra surplus of items would go a long way. Let's go. That's big. I think that's garbage. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. That's a good question. What's your favorite part about Kingston, Ontario? I mean, I'll be honest with you. Kingston's pretty cool. Yeah, this seems fine. I'm just trying to keep in mind that we're still going to Boss Rush here. I guess maybe this could also give us Boss Rush access over time. I got nothing against the city itself. It's just kind of like... Uptown Kingston is basically just like any Canadian town. You know, it's like... There's no battery charges. There's, you know, 10 Harveys and 15 McDonald's and, you know, 7 Burger Kings, 2 KFCs. You know, it's like any other town. Downtown Kingston is, has a unique kind of blend of, you know, historical character and then new blood from the students every year. I do think it's the kind of place that, I bet it's, like, frustrating to live in when you're older, downtown Kingston, because you're always, you know, running into drunk Queen's students and, you know, RMs. Well, I guess probably not that many drunk RMC students, but still. I think it's a nice town, though. I think the economy of Kingston is, like, really strong, too. Has, like, a lot of, like, government jobs. Oh, thank you. Oh, my. Oh! Oh! How about that? Would you look at that? There's a little bit of food. You love to see it. This room is going to slow us way down. But yeah, Kingston's pretty cool. I think there's worse places to grow up, for sure. But Malf and I also, like, I know we have to go through this every time. People that don't know us at all, except from our content, sometimes we'll be like, we grew up in the sticks, and people are like, Kingston's not the sticks. Yeah, we grew up, like, in the woods, 30 minutes outside. The reason we don't say we're from where we're actually from is because you wouldn't have heard of it. It's like the same way in BC. Like, when I meet someone from Vancouver, I don't tell them that I'm from Kingston, because they have no concept of Kingston. I just go like, oh yeah, I'm from, like, a little outside of Toronto. And then sometimes they'll be like, oh, I went to school in Ontario, and then sometimes it's Queens. And then that's where we're like, you know, we still don't really have anything in common, but it's kind of cool that we went to the same school, I guess. I mean, I'm glad we got what we got here. We got no bombs, though. Just a couple of bombs would go a long way. We'll get the deal with the devil. Use the bombs to go get the tinted rock, get the keys, go to the secret room, go to the special room, buy an extra battery charge, go to the error room, and then, you know, we're pogging up, man. You can take this. And then... Dude, I don't mind! Oh, jeez. Could you just... Oh, he can fly, that's right. Saved. Thank you for extinguishing the fires. I can already tell you, like, boss rush is like a pipe dream right now, but... Has he always been able to fly? Come on, man. He flies now? I'm glad it isn't just me that is, like, a little confused by this. You know, why don't you take that? He's always had wings. Yeah, but wings don't mean you can fly. Look at penguins, dude. This is really good. We're probably going to spend all our money trying to do this, but if it gives us enough charges, like, this is helpful. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Oh la la. Okay. Should give me one of those. He didn't used to be able to fly over skulls. But he has wings. Forehead. 3,000 hours, by the way. Okay, we're getting something out of this right now. We already got an HP upgrade for like 5 cents. We're gonna get almost a full charge just for doing this. Like, we're sitting in a pretty good spot. I'm thinking this is a hush run, more like a boss rush run. Because I can't remember if Golden Teleporter lets you go into boss rush. It may. It may. Okay, we still have secret room and double key room that we still can't get into because we need a bomb to get that other key. It does not. Okay, that's good to know, because now we know we'll go for hush room instead of boss rush. Okay, it's insanely good, honestly. If you could be given wings, would you take them? I feel like I would not take them. Oh, I didn't mean to, but that's okay. There's also a lot of variability in that sentence. Like, who's giving me wings, and is there a possibility that at some point they're gonna want them back? That's huge, man. I'm accidentally incredibly smart. That's for saying I'm not the top in my house, mouth. You see what happens? You see what happens when you feed a stranger scrambled eggs? I've had it with these Monday to Friday snakes on this monkey fighting plane. Let's go. Okay, technology 2. People will tell you this is bad, but I kind of feel like having like an infinite range shot is pretty useful when we don't know how to hit with like 75% of our shots anyway. I feel like having somebody with some AoE like crowd control could be mighty helpful. It doesn't mess with your damage anymore? Only 90s kids will know that this used to give you 35% damage down. It's a slight tears down now. Well, dude, give it to the strongest character then. Yo. I think I would choose not the wings. I would choose not to have wings. I'm happy with where my life stands right now. I don't think the addition of wings would help as much as it would harm. Potentially, at least. You consider yourself more of an 80s kid or a 90s kid? I think you gotta own the fact that if you're born, you know, 1988, you're a 90s kid. You're not an 80s kid, you're like an 80s baby. But you didn't grow up in the 1980s. Like, my first memory is probably from, like, 1991 or 1992. So I would describe my personality as germinating in the 1990s. I would say I have to be a 90s kid. And I respect it, you know? This could be worse. I feel like if you could pick the worst time to be born... Obviously, like, if you go back into the distant history, there's a lot of, like, really bad times. But within the 20th century, being born, like, in 1920 seems like, in the United States, seems like it would have sucked really bad. So you're born, and then, like, 9 years later, they're like, Great Depression. And then, like, as soon as you get over the Great Depression, they're like, by the way, you gotta go fight in the Second World War. And then, I mean, after that, I guess things kind of maybe get a little bit safer. But you're the constant threat of, like, nuclear warfare hanging over your head? No, thank you. Doesn't really matter. I think luck works better if you stack it. 1900 on the dot could be worse. I mean, if you were born, like, 1898 and then you fought in the First World War, you might be, like, at the age where you would also fight in the Second World War. That sounds pretty nasty. That sounds like a bad time. Look, just chill out on Birthright for 2 seconds, okay? We're gonna get a bunch of items on this floor, and then we're gonna take Birthright. Just relax. Might even play the Eddie room first. Just chill out. Look at that. We already got our first extra there. Oh, it only duplicates 3 items. Yo, okay, hold on. I think we definitely take it as Jacob then. Because almost all the items that Esau has are gas right now. Yeah. Okay, let's give that a try. In terms of, like, the best time to be born, like, I know that you, like, it's kind of an illusion that, like, when times were good historically, they were good for absolutely everybody. But in, like, a you know, broad American sense, I feel like being born as a baby boomer was, like, the high roll on the lottery ticket. What did you get? We got Cricket's Head, Supper, and Tech 2. I don't know, at least we got the laser beams. That's pretty good. Actually, it seems very good. You didn't have internet, sure, but you also didn't know that you didn't have the internet. So you don't get the FOMO there. You grew up in like unprecedented economic prosperity. At least like the macro conditions were unprecedented economic prosperity. Obviously, that doesn't mean everybody was crushing it, but and obviously like there were social problems. But I mean, but you got to be careful when you say "but" there. But all I mean is like, you know, depending on the demographic that you were in, you'd probably be like, you know, these social problems are not great, but they do beat going on a boat to Europe to fight in a world war. So, and then I do have to say, like, I know, hold on, we'll try these on for size. Control Q, control space.
I'm excited.
Control space. Lock down. Control space. Wait, this is pretty good, actually. If we could buy a battery charge. Don't forget Crackjack. That's a very good point. Let's go get Crackjack. I will say, I also feel like being born in the like late 80s, like I was, or even like the early 80s, was also totally fine. You know, I have the same, you know, economic situation as my fellow millennials, but I'm kind of on like the elder millennial side. I grew up with a lot of cool technology and stuff like that. Feel like things were pretty much okay for me. The things I thought were problems when I was like a kid were like actually not that big of a deal at all. This depends on demographics. We couched that, the first 10 minutes of this 11-minute and 10-second bit, we're couching it in the expectations that, yes, I know if you were born... I can only filter it through the lens of my own experience, you know? So there could be a battery charge inside of here. Maybe. I think sacks can have batteries. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, also the other thing, and I've said this before. We're heading down. I've said this before, and people always reply like, oh, but you make your living on the internet? I know, but I do think in a broad context, I think people were happier before the internet existed. I don't know if that's correlative or if it's a causal relationship. I think there's other things, you know, going on in the world that maybe have led to a rise in, like, people not really reporting high standards of happiness in their life. But I do also think that the internet has something to do with it. And I don't think it's just, like, I think again, I'm not, like, a psychiatrist or anything like that, so just take this with, like, the most enormous grain of salt you could ever imagine. But I don't feel like it's just seeing, like, other people posting that they're on vacation constantly on like Facebook and Instagram. I think there's something like, I mean, stop me if you've heard me say this before. I feel like the human brain just is like addicted to feeling mad. And when it gets the opportunity, like to be angry about something, it like seeks out more of that. And I see it in myself, but I see it in people online that don't recognize it either. High Priestess. I definitely find, like, the most, like, I don't get, like, super down or depressed, really. But, like, I get irritable, for sure. Which you probably have watched the stream for a long time. You probably didn't notice, because I do, like, a really good job of keeping it under wraps. And never letting it bubble to the surface, because I'm a professional. But definitely, like, especially in the wintertime, and especially, like, with the pandemic, with, like, literally, not even, like, no socialization with, like, friends and stuff like that, but just, like, not even having any face-to-face interaction with other human beings at all. It definitely, like, I notice it for sure. But even just now that the weather's nice, going out for, like, a little walk with the baby every day. Okay, because people are like, what about your family? Yeah, okay, that's true, but I mean, like, beyond that as well. And even, like, the way that our family unit is set up, like, when I stream, Kate's watching the baby. Then as soon as my stream's done, Kate streams and I watch the baby. And then as soon as her stream's done, you know, I drop off the baby to her and I start doing chores and cooking dinner and so on and so forth. So, like, it's still, like, I mean, it's not due to the pandemic. This is just due to, like, the way that having a newborn is. But our face-to-face social time was lower. But now, like, honestly, in the spring, my mood is, like, 30% up on a daily basis. We gotta give to the victor go the spoils on this one. And I'm like a relatively well-adjusted human being. You know, my head is like screwed on straight for the most part. And I make an effort to get outside. So when I see people that like make an effort to never go outside and post like 100 tweets a day, I'm like, dude, nah, I'm like, I think you would be better off with a little less of the internet. Just from my personal experience on that. If you're okay with the hermit life, don't get me wrong. I think for some people, like, touching grass is a mental debuff. Yeah, I've been taking vitamin D supplements this year. I think I don't know if it's helped, but I feel like it's helped. It's like, I've become good friends with the placebo effect, I think. Maybe it's the placebo effect, but if it helps, then as far as I'm concerned, pass me more of those Zebos, dude. I will play more of those Zebos. It also made me appreciate, and I mean, this is just a flex, but it made me appreciate, like, living in a nice city, because, you know, things are still somewhat locked down here, even though we have really, really fast now. Like, our vaccine rollout has gotten so fast, I'm embarrassed how much I complained about it when it was slow. And it swapped from, like, agonizingly slow to warp speed in, like, 2 weeks. It's crazy. Like, it went from, well, it was, like, last Wednesday, so a week ago, I got my appointment, which is now, like, this coming weekend. I guess we want you to grab it. I'm 32. 3 days after that, or 4 days after that, they were like, every adult over the age of 18 now has eligibility to get registered. And they're booked for the end of May and like the first couple of weeks of June. It's crazy. It happened so fast. But my point, I guess, is it made me appreciate living in like a nice place, for sure. Hold on. Depths 1. Yeah, why not? We're doing great here. But being able to, like, walk around and, like, see mountains and grass and trees and stuff like that, I think is, a mood buff. I just think back to, like, some of the neighborhoods I've lived in my life, and I'm like, man, you're watching, like, a streamer, and the streamer's like, why don't you just go for a walk? And you're, like, looking at the Google Street View of your subdivision or something like that, and you're like, we don't even have sidewalks? It's just concrete and, like, the sun bearing down on you constantly? So that's my weird flex, but... okay. Dude, I can't believe I almost didn't take more options. Because, I mean, look at that. This is... okay, if we want to make Hush, we should go now. If we want to make Hush, you got to do it immediately. Yeah. Smart idea. Anyway, it's crazy. Like, I was looking at... my friend linked me to, like, a graph of, like, first dose vaccines, adoption. And, like, the US and the UK are still, like, they're very up there. They're, like, over 50%. But Canada went from, like, 15% to over 50% in, like, what felt like less than a month. It's crazy. Anyway, UK 70+%. That's sick, though. There is a part of me that's like, I gotta see where it hits the asymptote, you know? That will inform some level of misanthropy for me, I think, when I see where the asymptote hits. $70+ here and still no dose for me. 36 years old, by the way. Really? I don't have any science to back this up, but I feel like that's where, even as a millennial, and admittedly I'm not aware of the situation, but I feel like I might be on the horn, you know? I might pick up the old yik-yak and be like, excuse me, have you lost my, maybe my vaccine is left in the boot? Maybe, did the lorry holding the Fauci ouchie get lost on the M-roads? I don't know anything about the United Kingdom. Except, based on all these YouTube videos I'm watching, they have smaller drink sizes than the United States of America. That's it. All I know is if I go to Quiznos in the United Kingdom and I order a medium, I'm gonna get an American small. Which is probably for the best. Okay. Doesn't matter what you take. Just snag them, get the heck out of here. Still making good time. Watching you has ruined my mental. I saw a crow today and nearly lost my mind. I did. I agonized over how to phrase the hey drop a fry tweet, and I think that I put too much sauce on it, and it didn't pop. It did okay, but not as great as it could have done. I did have to look up, like I Twitter searched birds mimic human speech, and the most relevant headline I could find was from 2016, so that's what I went with. I agree, it kind of came across like a forced meme, but I mean, I was forcing it, so it's not like it was I came by it honestly. Is it a bit, or do you actually care about Twitter likes? I mean, I'm not farming them, but when you make a tweet, you'd rather it get like a decent number of likes. It did decently. I'm not gonna say it cratered, but I'm not basing my whole afternoon about like how to get Twitter likes. But when I think of a joke that I think might do numbers, in my head I'm like, how do I phrase this in the best way to do numbers? Of course. I'm just flesh and bone like everybody else. Have you ever had a truly famous tweet with over 50,000? Oh, a mere 50,000 likes? Why don't you make the catchphrase, or the minimum, why don't you make it like 64,000? 64,000? Because yeah, I've had one. I've had some. That might be singular, the singular sum. Come on, man. Come on, man. Was it a tweet about millennial hesitancy to answer an email unless everything in their life is exactly just so? Yes, it was. Thank you for asking. Also filtered through the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It had incredible virality potential. And it achieved it. Okay, we need to do it like so. Beautiful. Okay, now keep it moving. Keep it. Forget the luck. Luck's not valuable. Not going for Guppy. I think it's too late. I think it's too late for the Guppy dream to come to pass. The Friday the 13th one, I don't know, because that, like, it got meme jacked. It was a good tweet. It was... Dude, what happens if 420 and Friday the 13th are on the same day? But then, like, it didn't get heavily reposted on Twitter. It got, like, memed by, like, I think iFunny or, like, Me IRL took a screenshot or something, so... I was karma farmed, unfortunately. People don't consider it a serious crime, as I found when I went to the Vancouver Police Department, but it affects millions of karma points every year. And I'm trying to raise some awareness there. I gotta remember, I have mom's knife. Use it. Use it. Get reposted, nerd. Stop reposting without my permission. I'll show you a copy of the lawsuit I send to all my haters. Wait, I had something to say. Oh, there was another, like, pseudo-viral tweet. From years ago. And it was like... There's a common theme here. Let me know if you notice it. Being a millennial means checking your voicemail and being relieved that it's just someone trying to steal your identity instead of an actual call that you have to reply to. That one, I thought that got a lot of, like, so true, so true. But it never quite hit the numbers that I was hoping for, but it did do somewhat okay. It did all right for itself. Let's go. That's what we're here for. Yunk. Yunk. Okay, okay. Are you familiar with the birds aren't real movement? Yeah, you know, I think that we need to get vaccinated, like, ASAP. People need to go outside, essentially, as soon as possible. A lot of damage has probably already been done, but, like permanently. But the faster that we could get these people outdoors, the better off it would be. Okay, just chill. Just chill for a minute here. Joker? I don't mind. Control Q. Control space. Control space? We hate it. Okay. Backpack, we kind of want, but don't talk to me for a second. You need to get Euthanasia, so we get spun. Locked down. We don't like it. Okay, let me see what we got here. I mean, there's some good stuff here. I like both of these a lot, obviously, but I think the best option for us is to take both. You're absolutely right. What was I thinking? Okay, hold on. We left little Dumpy in the dust. But here... like, this is a gimme. We'd rather have Shears for the boss fight. Oh, there's a Tinted Rock in the other room. So let's just get this Tinted Rock, and then also get a crawl space. That's clip farming. I'll admit, that was blatant clip farming. And then... we should take Arrow Walk in... I'm just gonna... I know you're like, take Guppy's head with backpack. And you're absolutely right. And the answer is no. It's just too much. I don't know what I don't even know what buttons you have to hit to make that come to pass, you know? Because I don't know what button you have to hit to swap between Guppy's head and Shears as Esau. Like, it's... even chat's hitting me with, like, a few different options here. Even they don't know, man. Okay, thank you, Shears. Keep up the great work. Red Stew was an enormously valuable pickup here. Right, thank you. We do wish to pop Era Walk. One of the things that's surprising to me, actually, with Repentance, is I thought that people would be more prone to be like, with so many complex mechanics, please take advantage of all of them. But a lot of the discourse, honestly, is like, people are like, I respect that he's lowering his mental overhead. I think that it's the right thing to do in some situations, you know? It's like driving an automatic transmission car. Like, you might be able to drive a manual, but I'm sure there's some days where you're like, man, I really wish, like, why shift gears when the earth will do it for you, mate? Yeah, it's a comfort game, man. I don't want to think. And I only recently found out what a... Oh, hello, Chiblee. I only recently found out what a comfort streamer is. And that explains why I've never been called one. So I guess a comfort streamer is when the streamer no longer owns their content, but instead their content is owned by the emotions of the people that are watching it. So if you ever have, like, any bad vibes at all on your stream, the audience gets, like, way up on you because they're like, I watch this for comfort, and this caused me great physical pain and mental anguish to watch. What if you go down and up simultaneously? You know what? No, we have to go down. I wish, man. That would have been fun. Yeah, I would say Chib is a comfort streamer, for sure. Like, if I was watching Chib and he started to talk about, like, American politics seriously, I would be like, what the heck are you talking about, man? Where did this come from? I think, honestly, I think Dan's in a similar vibe. Whenever, and it doesn't happen very often, whenever Dan has a take that causes chat to get controversial, it makes me uncomfortable. Because I'm like, there's no way that he would have known that he was getting himself into this. When he talked about logging off to buy a Weezer NFT, and then chat was like, why don't you just, you know, burn the entire rainforest by hand or something like that? I was like, there's no way he could have known. Like, that spiked my anxiety. And then on the other hand, I think, you know, there's streamers like Hassan is a great example, and even like this stream to some extent, where I think a certain level of sandpaper is expected when you show up. I think it's like just natural personality variation, man. Opinion on lurkers? Can't stand them. Wait, did you say lurkers or Imagine Dragons? I heard Imagine Dragons, but then... You said lurkers. Oh, lurkers. Love them. Love them. Yeah, yeah. Love the lurkers. I especially love the song they sing about the lightning and the thunder. Why did I just take that hit, man? Good bid. +2? Let's go. Hey. How about the Chiblee? You see that? +2. You know what would be... Oh, Chiblee hit me with a +2 as well. Dude, a +2 from a verified Twitch partner? That's worth like 1.8. You love to see it. Okay, take me down here. We gotta live. I actually think we're gonna die. It's a great item, man. Yeah, like, I think we're gonna die. But I'm gonna try not to. How does that sound to you? Dude, Brimstone Knives seems pretty good. Used to be... No. Okay, the right person took the damage. They used to always make it, like, underwhelming. It seems great now. Like, it seems like it's doing the damage you'd expect it to do. Chariot? Okay, okay. Don't touch me. Sissy? Oh, yeah, yeah. Sissy spider. Sissy. You sissy baka. I haven't really done the saucy baka meme today, so I feel like I can totally get away with it right now. But the more I watch the video, the more I'm like, the most funny part of it is when he says, "Don't lie to me, Walt." Chip, you're on Twitter a lot. Can I tell you of an experience that I've had on Twitter recently? And I'll explain to you how the rabbit hole goes, okay? So here's how it goes. I tweet something, people reply to my tweet, and sometimes their profile looks interesting to me, either from like a train wreck situation or from like, oh, this seems like a cool person situation. And then I look at tweets and replies to see the way that they interact with other people on the platform. And recently, maybe like 1 to 2 times a month, this leads me to somehow ending up on a part of Twitter that I guess is called financial domination or financial humiliation or something like that. And once I find myself on that part of Twitter, that's where I stay for like an hour. Because the scrolling, every single tweet you read is gold. Like, some of the Twitter... And you're into whatever you're into, by the way. You know, I'm not really trying to judge you on this one. But the tweets, for someone who's not a part of that world, are so funny. The tweets will literally be like, F you small d, you know, just like disgusted, right? Like humiliation, and then at the end it says like, give me $500. Like this. I guess it must be working because there's like a lot of people doing it on Twitter, but like the tweets are literally like, I'm gonna like step on your tiny little mushroom, you punk. Give me $1 million. And they're like, okay, hold on. I actually closed the game because I was trying to look at the post-it note. We unlocked Damocles, which is apparently Poggy, by the way. And I'm like, does this really work for you? I guess. We'd already done Delirium. Okay, saved. All right, we're gonna run one more back here. And then we're gonna do puzzle game. That's how it's gonna go. Oh, sorry, slash marker. Did I slash marker Damocles?